Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kuwait for SMEs podcast. This series is designed to support entrepreneurs and small business owners in Kuwait by helping them build the practical skills, gain access to knowledge, and connect with resources they need to grow. Kuwait for SMEs is an initiative under the umbrella of AmCham Kuwait in partnership with DHL Express. Together, we're working to provide guidance, mentorship, workshops, and platforms that highlight local success stories and share real-world learning from those who have built their own businesses here in Kuwait. My name is Seneca Kadam. I am head of sustainability for Ashaya Group, and I'm also a former board member of AmCham Kuwait. Today, we are joined by a guest whose journey reflects the courage, strategic thinking, and creativity that many entrepreneurs relate to. Jassim, we're happy to have you with us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Good. Many people know you for your @Patekaholic Instagram, which is wildly influential and wildly successful. However, for those who may be hearing your name for the first time, can you briefly introduce yourself and tell us about your journey?
Outside of Patekaholic, spent 18 years of my life doing equities. I was the vice president of equities trading in NBK Capital. So I was always around investments, stock markets, and everything related to that. In 2022, I decided to quit and spend time just to de-stress after many years of high levels of stress. And during my boredom, I decided to start a small company. And that small company today manages around 22 trademarks, which are focused around the luxury world, if you say, and pushing innovation every day as we move forward. In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
So you made this transition, but what is the one thing that you think really highlights your journey and one thing that you would want another person making that transition to know?
I'd hate to kind of corner my story in one corner.
Okay.
I've been through a lot and I've done a lot of things. I'm a very creative guy, so if I'm not creating anything, I get very bored. However, if there's one thing I would love people to know me for, it's this journey I'm in now. I think the leap I took by leaving a very stable, extremely well paying job to go to the unknown was a decision that took a while for me to take. I don't encourage everybody to do it, but if things are lined up in the right way that they were for me, I think maybe I can be the voice of the entrepreneur that wants to engage in his creative mind and his courage and all that and all these things, but is worried about the unknown, which is what I lived for the 7 years before I decided to pull the trigger.
So you saying that, like leaving stability, and I'm kind of having the same feelings right now, being unsettled. That seems so very scary to just up and leave something that's so stable and so renowned. I mean, you had a really good, very well-known position in a very important industry and a very important company.
Yes.
So why did you decide to take that leap?
It would be an easy answer for me to tell you because I wanted to pursue my dreams and all that. And that's not reality. I left because I was unhappy. I left because I was very stressed. My job in managing, I was managing 3.5 billion KD, around $12 billion. So it was a highly stressful position. And, it affected my life essentially. So I decided to focus on me. Mm-hmm. And so that was the main decision why I left. I did not leave to start a business. I left to enjoy my life, but I didn't. I got really bored after 3 months enjoying my life. So I can't give you that answer you're looking for. So that was the reality back then. I decided to really. I think people who are in very high stress positions in big corporates tend to forget the importance of self-care.
Yes.
and you become too focused on appeasing your boss and your boss's boss, and after a while you tend to forget yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I suffered. Stress is a killer, and I basically, it killed me essentially. So I decided to walk away. I decided that my health and my well-being was much more important to me than money, and I walked away. And then I started this little thing that grew, exponentially. So
well beyond what you
so
imagined.
I'm even more stressed now, but I enjoy it.
Well, I think it's a different type of stress.
It's the stress that you welcome.
Yes.
Because you draw. If life is a painting, and you had the brush, and you dictated what you want to put on that canvas, then it's your painting. It's not someone else's, and it feels different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It hits you in the right way. And for me, that is my time now. I'm just drawing my painting, but it's my painting. I mean, it might be ugly for somebody else, it might not work for someone else, but it works for me. And so when I'm stressed, I'm just a guy who's painting on his canvas. So I'm stressed and I'm happy. I'm not doing it for someone else. I'm not being paid to do a certain task that I might not enjoy or whatever. So from that perspective, yes, it comes with a lot of stress, but give it to me. I'll take it.
I think you've just provided 2 life lessons to a bunch of people that are listening to this podcast, because prioritizing your health,
Yes,
that's actually quite radical in this day and age. People who, especially people who have been working for as long as we have, we tend to forget that part.
I mean, I'm not a beacon of health, right? Mind you, I'm sitting in front of you.
I know,
I'm a guy who loves food,
hey,
obviously.
So do I.
But I'm talking about, a stressful side of health. But what you're saying holds a lot of merit.
Yeah, but it's important. And then the other I think is really inspiring is that painting on your own canvas. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I forget that myself.
Yeah.
So that's a really important lesson I think that the listeners and watchers should take on, that we need to kind of drive our own agenda and prioritize the things that are important in our lives.
Yes.
So you mentioned, you already talked about, kind of what made you change, the stress, and you weren't happy. But what were the initial fears you had when you decided to make that decision and took that leap?
My fears were sustaining my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who loves to, eat in the finest places and, fly only first class and stay at the best hotels. And, not having a secured income was a concern for me. But again, I decided that money was not everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, to be happy and content was more important for me. Mind you, I'm a very smart investor, so I put some money away as I was working for 18 years. So I had a nest egg that worked. But it took my decision to leave took a long time. I didn't just get angry and leave one day. It took me 7 years or something to decide. I was building my backup plan fund, if you will. I was preparing myself for that journey. I gave my work a billion chances. Mm-hmm. So if I can give anyone advice before they ever decide to leave, they need to really think it through a lot and take your time and go through the emotions of what it would feel like for you not to go to work. Take a week or 2 off and really don't go don't go party. I mean, sit at home and understand what it feels like not to have a job. You know what I mean? Especially for people who work 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. Their bodies are so used to waking up at a certain hour, doing a certain thing, driving the same way. You actually forget that you drove sometimes to work, and how do how many cars passed you, et cetera, et cetera. So you're just it's so ingrained in you. I still wake up at 5 every day, regardless of which day it is, regardless of what time I slept. So my biological clock is like on point.
It's tuned.
Yeah,
it's tuned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I know anybody leaving stability would be concerned about how do they. How will they manage their lives? But how did you get, like, how did you get past that? Like, what was the thing, and how did you navigate around that specific thing other than
I mean, I didn't.
you didn't?
I was a mess. You gotta understand. I mean, I have an extreme level of ADD.
Mm,
Okay, so I love doing a billion things at the same time.
yeah.
And boredom is, kills me.
Yeah.
And I was a mess. And after 3 years of being a bored mess, I decided start something small, and worked really hard at it. And the team grew, and our mission grew, and we're where we are today, and it's still the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other question that I have that is about your transition is around, really, how did you transition from, banking and finance, and then go to something completely different? Because retail, I mean, I work in the retail industry, and it's a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
It's a whole different mindset that you have to take on. So when you made that transition, you said, okay, let me start small. Let me try this. What made you decide on retail?
Everything you see is a coincidence. I swear to God.
Okay.
Swear to God. Everything
Or
you see is
synchronicity.
it's a coincidence. And I'm a believer that in life, chances presents themselves
Yes.
to us every day. And some of us take those chances, and some of us just sit and watch them pass them by. And as time goes by, you sit there and you regret every single chance that came through and you didn't take it. And this goes to anything from a relationship to business to whatever. I was lucky that I had a lot of friends in a lot of places. I was just a friendly guy, and I made a lot of friends. And in 2020, before I actually incorporated the business, I had a friend in Italy. His name is Jean-Paul Manicucci, who owns a very big manufacturing plant for leather goods. And he produces, for Polo and big names, and Luca in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to call JP and told him I wanted to design my own wallet. And, I have a social media presence, obviously. And we designed this small wallet. It was a card holder, and it sold well. So I essentially took my fan base from just, me blabbering about nothing to sell them an idea, which is a small card holder. In 2022, when we incorporated, I had befriended in past years someone from Singapore. His name is Hilo. And Hilo is an Hermes trained leather maker who has a beautiful shop in Singapore. And after years of friendship, I told him that give me a chance to change your life. And he started laughing at me. And I said, listen, we can do something together beyond. He's a strap maker. His main business was that he was making straps for watches. And now him and I, we own a place in Singapore that produces some of the best leather goods you can imagine.
Wow.
So we do bags for women, for men. We produce a lot of I can't say the big brand names, but huge brands in Asia that require for gifts or corporate gifts, etc. We do it for them, and we're growing that side of business. So I'm in terms of leather, I'm a guy that used to always love leather. I love exotic leather. And so my progression into that world is a natural progression because it's something I love. And I believe the best businesses are ones that you create a market. You don't compete in a market. And I thought that there was a gap between big brands that operate in Kuwait that sell extremely expensive leather because of branding, and very, very cheap, not extremely low grade leather. There was a gap in the middle. And I'm trying to address this gap.
That's really really interesting. So you took an idea, you used the connections that you had, and then you leveraged your social media presence to start building the brand. So it was quite organic for you.
100%.
Yeah. So I want to go back to just talking a little bit about, you mentioned everything is a coincidence. You believe in coincidences. I also am one who believes in synchronicity, and that you make your path, or your path is there, and the easier it is to walk your path, it means that it's the right path.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you found the right path because you're just walking it, and it's a very easy walk for you and semi-stress-free.
What's that famous poem? Two roads diverged in Robert Frost, I think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
On the lines of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's really, I think that's something to take away is start small. I mean, starting small, you started small and you leveraged what you already had instead of trying to create something going from 0 to 100.
I mean, everything we have now, all the brands that we are currently in operation that are doing well, there were more brands, but I closed a bunch of them because I believe in testing markets.
Yeah.
So I do something small, I test the market. And I believe the market speaks to you as a business owner. The market is your best feedback. It'll tell you whether you're doing well, you're not doing well, you're selling at the right price or the wrong price, or the market doesn't want you, or you know what I mean? And it takes a lot of courage not to start a business, just to kill one.
Yeah.
I think those are the most courageous men out there, the ones that are able to pivot quickly before, their emotions take, take the money out of the bank. So I don't want to call myself courageous, but if as soon as I smell danger, that baby's gone.
Well, that's a good lesson as well. It's fail fast, right?
Yeah.
It's
100%.
Take your time, do your testing, and then if it's not working,
I move on.
Don't be wedded to it, as they
100%.
say. Yeah. So I hear a lot of time went into kind of figuring out what you were going to do, or figuring out your markets and building your brands. What do you think are the skills that you brought from your previous world into retail?
Listen, to forget retail for a second, let's go back to managing, 22 brands with a team of only 6, 7. I think someone needs to believe in punctuality. Time is very important.
It's very valuable.
And to manage this amount of, goals, orders, go to market, marketing plans, all that stuff is extremely hard. Now, time is our biggest enemy. And so you need a team that understands that time is important. That's number one. And I learned this the hard way from my previous task, my previous post. Managing people is the hardest thing on planet Earth. You have different personalities, different emotions, different expectations, different moods, different everything, okay? And so to be able to manage people, to make them love driving to work, to make them feel that they're part of a family, to make them believe that they're part of a success, to actually, reward them when you have success. These are important things that I think a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to manage people. And if I learned anything that I really cherish from my old position, is managing people. I managed, I love them to death, my team, my old team. We're a team of, including myself, we're a team of 5. And we never lost a member in the 18 years that I was managing the desk.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and I learned that more than anything, and I applied it to my current company. So going to the retail space, what skill sets that I took, I think, I was an equities guy. Okay, so I was on the phone selling, and if you can't sell, you shouldn't be in business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can sell that pen to you right now. Trust me.
You sound like my husband.
I need to meet him.
Okay. So I think that people management, the soft skills, especially in a small business, are often put to the side. Not necessarily missed, but put to the side. And you raised a really important point about how people are treated and making sure that they want to come in every day. Because in the end, I think you'll be sabotaged by the people that you have underneath you.
I've said this in previous podcasts, and I'll gladly say it again. My greatest asset is not the bank account, and it's not my inventories. It's not even the social media accounts, nothing else. It's my people. I cannot survive without them. They are the backbone of the business.
Yeah.
And it's every team member is important. And it's important that I understand that they're important. So I can always be able to engage that person and make them better. I believe a manager is, a lot of people understand management differently. Management to a lot of people is you act as if you're the prison ward.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That's not the case. A good manager is a teacher. He's an enabler. He's a helper.
Yes.
He's someone who lifts your spirits, because you need that dynamic. And if you don't have that dynamic, then what is management at the end of the day? So I cannot do anything without them. And so as much as I believe in my team and I want them to believe in themselves, I can reach whatever we can reach.
I always, because I've always led lots of teams, and I always teach my future leaders. That's the one thing that I always make sure that they understand, is that leadership isn't about micromanaging.
Yeah.
You should be able to give a task to someone on your team and walk away from it.
Yeah.
Because you've built them up, you've trained them, you've taught them, they've learned lessons from you. And the other is that you have to be the example. So you have to get up at 5 a.m. and be on time, like you said, because you set the example.
100%. I mean, I lift boxes when deliveries come in. I pack boxes when they go out. I do everything with my team because I need them to know we're equal.
You're in it together. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm very attuned to that message, because that's how I feel, and I know that there's a lot of leaders inside our business, outside of our business, who don't necessarily feel the same. So it's nice to hear from someone else who has the same.
I think companies that are too big, too large, and too institutionalized, they don't have the luxury to do what I do. And I don't think we can, be one side or another. And I have the luxury to do this because I'm a small business. If I have 1,000 people under me, I'm going to have to train the 100 people under me to be able to do what I do to the people under them, and et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of love is lost in translation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, I do have that luxury to be able to do that. But, companies of 1,000, 6,000, 10,000, it's very hard to be able to do that and do it well.
Do you think you'll get to that size? Do you want to get to that size?
Yes.
Okay. That was a very quick answer.
I do.
Yeah.
I have dreams far beyond Trump's.
Well, hopefully yours are sane.
Listen, I believe I deserve a chance just like everybody else. I believe that I deserve a chance to be on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah. I
deserve a chance to be in the DIFC in Dubai, in Hong Kong, and I don't know, in Tokyo. Yeah. I believe. I'm a dreamer. I'm a very, very, very creative dreamer maniac, essentially. And my dreams are far beyond the borders. Let me put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, now this dream, you started, with one wallet.
Yeah, we started with a wallet.
And now you've built it up to a portfolio of 22 brands. And
yes.
Some of those are owned and some of those are licensed franchise.
Let's say 70% of the brands are created by us. So just, organic brands. And we represent a few other brands. So we're the franchisee, if you will, or the distributor in Kuwait and the region also.
So how did you make the decision on, I'm going to create these, but I'm going to license these? How did you make the decision between what you were going to make and what you were going to license?
I think it's leveraging my relationships. So when I created a brand, it's a brand I'm creating because it's something I like. So when I created Jacob the Tailor, which is a shirt business, it's because I really love shirts. And I love a certain cut, which is the one I'm wearing right now. But I really love that what I can't find. So I created a business towards shirts. When I created Le Roi all over perfumes, because I love perfumes, and I wanted to do something, and me and my partner did something in the world of perfumes that nobody did, which is a company focused on only doing all over perfumes. And then we created Scented by 1910, which is based on the idea and the concept of having a fragrance with you all the time. So everything we do comes out of just passion, something I like. So wherever we were operating, when we did shoes, bougie footwear. And so bougie footwear is because I personally hate wearing socks with shoes. So I always wear loafers. But I hate the way loafers feel on my feet because I love espadrilles. But I hate the base of an espadrille. I like the base of a loafer. So we took an espadrille, we took a loafer, mixed them together, and we created a bougie essentially. And it's doing very well. But also on the other side, Pierre Salanitro, which is the biggest diamond installer in the world, is a good friend of mine. So, and he wants to expand. So I told him, I want to work with you. And such is the case for Walden Watches out of the States, Le Artisan out of Belgium. Artisan, Le Artisan de Genève, which is a leather-based business out of Geneva also. So that we're through friendships and relationships, I'm able to represent some brands in the region. Obviously, I can't. There are things I cannot represent. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if I think something fits within the ecosystem that I've built, I will always approach them without any hesitation.
So I think I'm hearing some themes that are being repeated because you've mentioned a couple of times that you've approached your business by finding gaps in the market and trying to fill those gaps.
Yes.
And not trying to create something that's already existing or anything like that. And the other that I'm hearing that's really important is building your network. And you've leveraged it. You have very masterfully, it sounds like, leveraged your network. And that is something that a business owner shouldn't take for granted, is how do you build your network? And then it's not necessarily how you build it, but then how do you leverage it so that it's of benefit to both you and the other party? So that's what I'm hearing from you.
100%. I believe that being able to utilize the fan base or the customer base or the people that follow me is important. But I think also what's important more than that is to be able to make people feel special. So when we create something, we always create things in very small production runs. It's terrible in one side because when things sell out, you're constantly creating. Your creative juices are like all over the place because you have to constantly deliver. And with creating things from scratch, you run into the possibility that people don't like them. Yeah. So you have a high level of waste, essentially, okay? Now, on the other side, to be able to reward people and make them feel really, really special, we created something called the 1% Club. And the 1% Club basically looks at the dynamics of the base and segments people into their spend. Now, what big corporations do is they give you a loyalty program.
Yes.
This is not a loyalty program. This is essentially making you feel that you deserve a special treatment because of all the years of you buying from us. So whenever we release a product, it goes to them first before anybody else sees it. We release products only for them, so they have the chance to feel special, and we all do, a little bit more expensive things because we're using better materials, etc. Because they are able to the demand is there. Not only that, now we're working on putting together a lot of events that we pay for. So it's the real loyalty program where we reward you, not by giving you 1% cash back, but by actually making you feel that you're part of a community. And I think businesses that are able to build communities, just like, Supreme Brands, etc., the guys that build, real loyalties, those businesses are able to succeed. A lot of them die, though, at the end, because their clients don't feel special after a while. And so you need to always be conscious of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so this is what we're doing.
So making people feel special, that is so very simple.
It's so very hard.
But yes, exactly. It's exactly.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Yes.
So it's not that easy. But what other challenges are you facing with, keeping your customers excited, engaged, loyal?
The challenging is mainly creating. You have to always create, and I'm the creative director of the company, so I have to create things. I have to come up with plans and things, and sometimes they work, and sometimes, trust me, I've I've faced the quiet many times. So yeah, that's the biggest challenge, I think.
How do you know, like, what to bring or what to make? How do you
Never
know?
know.
You never know.
No. You can ask Donatella Versace when she designs if it'll sell. She'll tell you, I don't know. She has to try, and a lot of that goes to the trash. A lot of it goes to the outlets. A lot of it gets recycled. And this is the challenge of anyone who's creating anything from scratch. It's a very easy thing. If I would love to be the franchisee of In-N-Out Burger. It's an easy sell, it's a great brand. It's there, etc., etc. So it's the introduction to Kuwait will be easy. But if I create my own brand, then there's a challenge of I have to convince you to come, convince you to buy, convince you to pay the price that I think is worthy of my time. Then I have to really convince you to like it so you can come back again. So there's a lot riding on the shoulders of the creative guy.
And so when you talk about pricing, like how do you determine your pricing? What is the thought process that you go through in order to figure out how you're going to price your products?
I think to reach like in economics term, price equilibrium is you have to test the market. So we're in a 3-year-old company. So when we first started out, we tested at a very low price and things moved very fast. And we tested at a very high price and things essentially moved very little, essentially sometimes died. So you have to test until you find the right price. And then you compare to your competitors. And we do this a lot. Now, the only problem is when we identify business. So when we entered the sunglass market, there were maybe 10 players in Kuwait doing sunglasses. And we have 3 brands under our umbrella. One of them is Jay-Z exclusive eyewear, where we do ridiculous sunglasses. I mean, $1,000 plus, and we use rare woods and mother of pearl with that I source from Tahiti. I go all out. You know what I mean? And then we have the regular Jay-Z eyewear, which is just beautifully done sunglasses with great Italian acetate, etc. And then we have full circle sunglasses that I sell them at 1 KD. So I sell everything there at a loss, which people don't know. So whatever my cost is, I literally lose about 70% of what I order. And the reason why I do that is because I run ABCK-AmCham. And under it, I have all my brands. So I'm willing to lose 2 KD on a sunglass so that I can hopefully do a cross sell on something that I earn 6 or 7 KD. So it's my turbo essentially. So whatever I spend, full circle is my marketing fund.
I was going to say it's a marketing.
It's a marketing fund.
It's a marketing ploy.
It's a marketing fund. Yeah. So this is full circle essentially. Yeah. It's a.
So let's talk about Boutique Jay-Z. You have both an online presence and you have a physical boutique.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So what made you decide to open the physical store? Because everybody's going online and you've already have an online presence. So what made you decide to go bricks and mortar?
The clients.
Interesting.
I wanted online 100%. And I still do. I believe in online only. But the clients want to test sunglasses before they buy them. They want to smell fragrances before we buy them. Mind you, most of my 70% of our business is non-Kuwait. We ship a lot with the DHL, our partners, and the 70% of the business doesn't smell or because we don't have presence outside. But we have an obligation to be in your face always in our home base essentially. So our presence is mainly marketing, more than cash generation. We're still 90% of the business is online. So 90% of the top line is online. Yeah.
And you said we talked about making people feel special. How do you use your bricks and mortar location to make your customers feel special?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't. But when you buy something from us, rest assured you're getting a message. You're getting a personal note sometimes from me. You're getting a beautifully done box. Like I go all out. I mean, I spend a lot of money on my packaging, on the way I make you feel. If you don't like it, you return it. We take care of our people. You know what I mean? Yeah, we take really good care of our people.
That's good.
Yeah.
But that's I mean, that's your USP. It's making
100%.
people feel special.
Yes, yes.
And the products that you sell make people feel special.
Yes.
So your customers, you have a very specific set of customers. Do you want to expand that customer base?
I have to. If I want to grow my business, I have to. And I tested the female market with Venka, which is a hair mist company.
Yeah.
I don't want to say we did not do well, but we did not do as expected. And maybe because I rely heavily on myself to market everything. But even with that, we did spend a quite big chunk on social media marketing. But like I said in the beginning of this conversation, sometimes when things don't work,
Pivot.
You got to run.
I will say, looking at you just talked about how you go all out on packaging. I looked at some of the photos of the Venka packaging, and it is so
It's amazing.
thoughtful.
Yeah, I know.
It is so completely thoughtful.
I was involved in choosing the kind of plastic that went into the hair clip so that I can choose a kind of plastic that would hold onto your hair and not.
So can you just describe the packaging? Because the packaging Venka is a hair mist, and it's a hair mist, and it comes in a bottle. But you made it so very special. So I'm starting to tie it all together.
Yeah,
you made it feel very special. So can you just describe some of the packaging?
So just Venka comes in a box, and the box contains a 100 ml bottle, and then next to it is a hair clip. And we decided to intentionally do this because we want, number one, we want you, the consumer, when you're walking by, that you'll understand that this is a hair mist only because there's a hair clip. So that's number one. Number two, we wanted there's a branding aspect, obviously, through people wearing the hair clip. And number three, we want you to have a connection to the brand. And so I don't have hair. I'm not a woman, but so I assume.
How did you market test that?
I assume because listen, I've been around enough women on my time, but a woman that leaves a salon after she's had a great, just like a shower or like a hairdo or a blow dry. I've heard this many times that she feels amazing.
Yes.
Okay. And I want that feeling to be always, happening to every girl who owns the Venka product through the great scent that we have and through the hair clip that she can always have on the go if she wants to go out to, put her hair up or whatever. So we decided to come up with this beautiful, pastel pink with a nice, like frosted plastic on to cover. So you can see the product, but you can't see it. So there's an element of, I want to see more. And so a lot of thought process goes into what we do, trust me.
And you come up with this all on your own? Or are you using a marketing
I have
company?
A team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a marketing whiz that works with me. Her name's Zahra. Say hi to Zahra. And so she helps a lot.
I was, as I was scrolling through and I went to the Venka Instagram, I was like, I want one. I don't have enough hair.
We'll gladly send you some.
I don't even have enough hair for a clip, but
we'll gladly send you some, of course.
It's really good. Like the packaging was so gorgeous, and it just, even the social media, the Instagram page, it just draws you in.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of experience with social media. You have got over 300,000 followers on Instagram. So how are you utilizing the skill sets that you've learned from your social media experience with your brands?
So so my life as Pataholic, the watch guy, has ended a year and a half or 2 years ago. So I stopped posting on it. So on my personal account, which has 15,000 followers, and my Snapchat account, which have a very big following, the combined numbers is massive. But it's not about mass. It's about the quality of people and utilizing them. I hate the word utilizing because I feel like I'm using the people. I'm not. I share a story, and I love telling stories also. So if I show you a bag that we worked on, I'm going to tell you how we made it, how we designed it, what leather we purchased, why we purchased this leather, what grade was it, from which tannery, what sort of stitching we used, what sort of thread, how many days it took. And I think this is important in a time where we've become emotionless, we as people, okay? So as you're driving home from work, you're bombarded with a billion ads on the street. Between every Instagram and the other post, there's an advertisement that pops up. Our ability to look at an advertisement went from, I don't know, let's say 30 seconds during the Super Bowl to 2 seconds on Facebook Meta ads, where if you don't engage me within 2 seconds, I'm not seeing your ad. So that tells you something. That tells you that people are no longer interested, not because they're not interested, but because they're just so damn bombarded with so much material that they can't hold. It just becomes overwhelming. Unless there's a story. Mm-hmm. Unless I can emotionally engage you, right? Yeah. And if I can do that, then I can have your attention. You might not buy, but you'll listen to me. You'll hear my story. And maybe one day you'll be convinced to buy something from me. And once you do, you're I have you forever.
You're addicted. It's like a jail. Once I got you, yeah. You're not leaving. So the important part about that is that SMEs should be using their social media to tell the story about their brand.
Yes.
And not just posting to post, but
yes.
really creating authentic content
yes.
that tells.
One of the things I suffered with Venka, going back to Venka, is when I sat with marketers, I said, I do not want you to show the bottle in the advertisement. I don't want you to even talk about it. I want you to only talk about the feeling a woman has when she leaves a salon, when she has a great hair day, when the wind blows in her hair and she feels beautiful. I want you to showcase that feeling, then relate it to Venka. And nobody was able to understand what I wanted to do.
Well, I got that.
Well, great.
I did get that. When you look at it, it's beautiful women with beautiful hair looking very confident.
And that's that's the message. That should be the message. From a marketing perspective, because everybody wants to show you the bottle. Yeah. Who cares about the bottle? You should care about how the bottle makes you feel.
So that's another gem there that we should be talking about, how the products will make the customer feel, not about the product.
Thank you. I'm gladly open for consultation. If you like, I'm just kidding.
I know. I'm taking it all in. So now let's give some. I mean, I've taken loads of things from this conversation already. I don't even know how much time we've taken, but let's talk about some of the things that SMEs can take from your journey and learn, and lessons learned. So what would you advise, or how would you explain to someone who has a small business here or is interested in starting a small business, the environment for SMEs in Kuwait?
The environment is tough. It's a tough environment. If you're operating only in Kuwait, then you have to learn one word and one word only. It's called retention. Mm-hmm. If you cannot retain a client, you're doomed. Because this is not New York. You don't have 40 million visitors a year. So it's everybody that you see every day driving to work. They have to keep buying from you, and if you can't retain them, bye. Now you can solve that issue by opening the borders, by creating alliances with great shipping companies, etc. But that's not also easy. To have your message go beyond your borders is extremely hard. I'm very happy that we have clients in Brunei and Georgia, and, countries out of my wildest dreams I wouldn't even consider would buy from me. But we've reached these countries and beyond. And the one advice I really want to tell everybody is be sales focused and not cost focused. A lot of managers, a lot of business owners spend their entire days trying to save 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, fils. completely wasting their time and not being sales focused. Sales is what keeps the train going. If you keep sales going, you grow sales, you believe in sales, you teach the team to always find ways to create sales, then cost is not a big deal. But everybody, whenever the market's hiccups, there's a hiccup in the market. Whenever there's a bump in the road,
There's a knee-jerk
the
reaction.
managers immediately want to appease the investors, the board, or the whoever, and they try to go after the salaries, delivery systems, the nonsense.
Yeah.
They should only be focused on sales. You do that, you grow your business. You don't do that, it's going to be like every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
I think you're building the roadmap. So we're focused on sales. You get the sales
100%.
by market testing and finding the right product for your customer.
Yeah.
And then you tell the story of the product.
100%.
You tell the customer how that product is going to make them feel. So we're building that roadmap
Yes.
for our SMEs. What would you change in Kuwait if you could to make life easier for yourself or for others?
I think Kuwait is going through a lot of changes, and just in my lifetime, the amount of work we can now accomplish online on our phones is massive. And I think there's a lot of headway that's been tackled, and I think we're going through the right path. And if there's anything I can change, it's just to create an environment where more visitors can come to Kuwait, so we can show them our, not just speaking about me. There's a lot. Listen, some of the best innovators in the F&B space came from Kuwait. Their businesses are all over the region. Some of the greatest Talabat and all these guys, operated in very tough environments in terms of getting licenses for the drives, etc. And they're multi-billion-dollar companies. Chapeau bas for them. You know what I mean? So sometimes environments where we see as tough builds, real character. Yeah, and I think this is to be in a tough environment is not a bad thing. It's just it builds you up to be able to tackle anything and everything.
So I want to circle back to leadership because I do have some questions about leadership, and you've talked about how important leadership is, and I think it's employee-centered leadership. I'm going to coin that term. That's going to be my new term.
More power to you.
So,
do it.
So we're going to talk about employee-centered leadership that you were talking about, and it seems like you took the leadership skills and the leadership style that you had in your previous worlds, and you brought them along with you. So when you're building the team, what do you look for? Because in order to kind of facilitate that type of environment that you're trying to create, it takes the right people. So how do you find those people?
I don't want to sound pompous.
They come to you.
But give me anyone and I'll train them.
Amazing.
Because I read a lot of psychology. Some men you need to be assertive with them. Some men are alpha males. You can't. You have to give them space so that they can have their opinion. They have to be opinionated. They have to show their alpha side. Some guys don't. Some women are the same. Some women don't. I read a lot, and I understand how that dynamics change from one person to another. Again, I can do this in a small company. Once we grow to 100, 200, 300, 400, you're not gonna have. You're gonna have you have guidelines. You have HR guidelines and rules and etc. and books that you have to sign and all these these things that I did.
You did the corporate.
So corporate, corporate is corporate.
Yeah.
In terms of small businesses, read psychology.
Okay.
Read psychology books. Okay. Honestly, it will help you a lot.
So read psychology books now. I'm going to be like, tell me one. Tell me what I need to read.
6 Thinking Hats by Edward de Bono is great.
Okay. I'm going to put that on my list. And that'll be next week's read. Thank you very much.
A pleasure.
So I have worked for Ashaya for many, many years now.
Great company.
It is a great company, but it's also, as you've mentioned, as a company gets to the size, I mean, we're across 16 countries, 40,000 employees. We're a monolith. It becomes very difficult to embed culture down. And you talked about, how you have built the culture within your organization. How do you intend? I know we talked about you're going to grow. You are going to grow. We're speaking it into existence. You're going to get to that size. Have you thought about how you're going to try to keep that
Yes.
culture?
I was
Yes.
thinking about it the last week, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Then I want to know.
I kept going back to my old job and I kept thinking, why are there some teams that operate in very high effectiveness and some teams have a very high turnover rate? And it comes down to the leaders.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, why, if I led an organization like that, I would switch the leaders every once in a while.
Interesting.
So I'll take a guy from finance, I'll make him an HR guy for the week. And then I'll see how the people under him are able to engage. If he's able to adapt. And so you can see some weaknesses in people. And you can see some strengths in others. And you can see feedback that you wouldn't be able to see from up down up if that was not the case. I think change brings about honesty.
Yeah.
I think when things change in our lives, when there's something hiding around the corner, whatever it is, even on a personal level, you're gonna have to face the music. And how you face the music is the difference between someone who's effective and someone who's not in terms of corporate. So if I led a company of 100 or 200, trust me, I'll make the head of accounting, pour you coffee for a day, just so I can see how things roll, and to make sure that message is cascaded down, that we are a team, no matter how big we are. We're one team.
Wow. So that's very interesting. I would have never thought about that, but what you're saying is so true. When you're put into a situation, an unfamiliar situation, the true person actually does come out and you'll be able to see that.
Imagine if you take a guy making, $500,000 a year, great office, and you tell him you're the coffee guy today or for the week.
Yeah.
And if he's unable to take with a smile, to understand that this is a team play and to build up and to actually show people that we are one team and we don't have, it. And if he can't take it, then you have issues with that guy. Then he's not actually part of a team. He cannot build the team that you want to build.
What advice would you give to I think this is going to be a more personal question, but what it wasn't intended to be, but now,
Shoot.
now that we've been having this conversation, what advice would you give to someone who is in a stable position, very corporate, but feels like they want to build something of their own?
Oh, I've been asked this question so many times.
Tell me.
I realize that there are some characters, some people that cannot operate outside of corporate guidelines. It's just not within them. It takes a lot for you to get out of bed knowing that you own a business, to be there very early, to leave late. It takes a lot for you to always push the boundaries of wanting to grow and grow and grow. Because if you don't grow, you're going to die. It's a very different thing when someone gives you a task or tells you what to do, or you have a KPI at the end of the year, you have a bonus to reclaim, and so it's not only that you want. People want a lot of things. Okay, it's not everything we want we should have. And so my advice is for people who are really good at their jobs, really, really good at their jobs, take a few weeks off and stay at home. Don't go to Mykonos and party. Stay at home, do nothing. And go sit with a friend who owns a business, a successful business, and see if you can do it. See if you can engage, if you can roll with the dices, if you can, take a bad, feedback from a customer or something. But there is no path to this. I told you, I was everything I did happened because of pure coincidence.
I I watched an episode of Diary of a CEO, and I forget who the person was he was interviewing, but one of the things that really stuck out to me is that he said that you always have time. And a lot of people who want to start something, they feel like they don't have the time. And they were like, sometimes your 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 not side hustle, I want to say side hustle, but your job, your business, the business that you want to start becomes your fun.
Yeah.
So it's really thinking about it like that and saying, and we started this conversation, and you talked about how now you're doing something that is fun. There's stress, but it's things that you love
I enjoy.
and you enjoy. So it's making that business something that is your fun. So we are at the end of our hour. That went really quickly. Thank you so much, Jassim, for sharing your story and sharing
pleasure.
all of these insights. I've learned so much from everything that you've said today, and I will continue to follow you now. And I'm going to go down to the shop and go look at some stuff.
Thank you.
And I wanted to say, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you think I should have asked you?
Nothing in particular.
Nothing in particular?
Yep.
Okay. Then
let me know if there's something that comes up to let me know.
Since we are on a podcast.
Okay.
What is the current podcast that you're listening to that you would recommend?
I'm at the office for 13 hours every day. I don't watch podcasts.
You don't listen in the background? That's because the work is the fun.
I haven't seen a podcast for a long time, but
the work is the fun.
I'll make sure to watch this one.
Thank you. And thank you so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed speaking to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.